Happy Thursday, howdy friends and floor heads. It is time for Forbidden Lands. It's only been 2 weeks since we've played before, which is hard to believe. Um, yeah, it's a brand new day here in the Forbidden Lands. Our team is fresh from the Stone Moon mines, and they are alive. Rustbite is broken, but Osric now has a second elven gem in the form of the Bloodstar clasp. Where will they go next? Will they follow the rumors of the third gem off to the east? Will they head west towards Hagler's house in search of the dwarf that isn't really a dwarf? Well, we're going to find out on the other side of the opening credits. We'll be right back.
Broken hearts embrace they came, a band of heroes bold. Stand the hunter versus fair, with tales of glory told. Osric with his mighty blade, Rustbite of demonic hue, and Silver half-elf merchant king. Their journey did ensue. Silver trades and secrets hold a smile upon her face, while Osric swings his fearsome sword in battle's fierce embrace. Through Raven's land they wander in search of ancient stones, to free the land from darkness where evil's a terror roams. With courage as their banner and hearts forever true, they seek the light within the night, their quest for me and you. Stern the hunter tracks the beast with arrows swift and sure. Vasilla sings of battles past, her voice a magic cure. In ancient halls where echoes dwell, they found a mystic sign. The stones of elves, a guiding light, within their hearts align.
So I counted. We are 9 weeks into this, according to the calendar. A lot has happened to the 4 review in the last 9 weeks. You're outside of the Stone Loop mines, partly cloudy out. The grasslands are making kind of a rustle with the wind. I feel like for the first time, there's not looking over our shoulder or what was that noise? The fresh air has got to taste great and just fill your lungs. Not to mention the sun as it peeks through the clouds. What's next?
Well, suppose if nothing else, we should head somewhere where we can get some supplies and some repairs done. Maybe
that'd be wise.
Maybe the Raven Sisters are our best bet. Closest, anyway.
I think so.
Hold on. Silva, you have to have a good bottle of wine in a giant wagon.
Oh man, can I pull wine? I don't know that I can.
It's a trade good, isn't it?
Is it?
I'm fine
so.
for 1 willpower if you want to pull wine out of your bag.
You know what? Yeah, I will. I'll take that deal. I will spend one of my 10 willpower. So we'll just kind of let
Can't get no more.
I think I got something. There we are. There's
well, if you're that way, I'm down to a D8 of arrows. So.
Oh well, here. Let me grab some arrows for you there real quick too. There's another.
Lord.
Pop your dice up there, Stan.
Thank you very much.
Now I have images of not you necessarily pulling it out of your backpack, but I just have an image of Silva on top of her wagon and just kind of pulling. Hey, oh yeah, here's some arrows.
Yeah, she's just like halfway in.
Did
just
you
like
say wine? Yeah, here's some wine.
I just see her sort of at the back, with the
snowshoes. We don't need snowshoes, do we?
Just kick the tailgate down, and it's a whole open bar back there.
So yeah, I guess Vasily, you have wine.
Nice. I will pour everyone a draft of wine. Or a dram of wine. I never got those 2 words right.
Just fill the glass.
And then
Now we have glasses. It's amazing.
I gotta
Then
spend a willpower and glasses.
then I'm gonna get to cooking us like a real good meal. Like
Nice.
Wait,
we're not going
wait.
anywhere for
Like you're gonna hang out here in front of these mines another
yeah.
set of
We have a
whatever?
camp. We know where everything is. This
Do
air
we
is
have a camp
fresh.
here?
You have camped here before, but you'd have to make camp if you're gonna stick
Right.
around for a bit.
Yeah.
We're familiar.
Mm-hmm. Craig, what time
Like-
of day is it? Because I am currently marked as sleepy.
It is the first quarter day, so it's
Okay.
in the first 6 hours of Spring Wane the 16th.
Okay.
I mean, if we want to walk like a mile or two away, so we're not right by the entrance, but I think we deserve a day of like happiness and celebration.
Don't disagree.
Not going to argue with you.
I feel like we should at least not be right here.
All right, fine. I'll
Okay.
pop the cork back in the wine. And
Ostrich
put
wants
it-
to get away.
I'll put it in my pack.
Mm-hmm.
Can you carry that?
Thank you, Packer.
Might have to go slowly. Fine, I give it back.
Throw it in the
Alright, so
cart.
we're going to spend a quarter day traveling. It sounds like we can travel 2
Mhm.
hexes in that. So let's go over to our map. You guys want to bring up the group sheet? We can definitely not go directly north. That is too mountainous directly north of us. But if we are thinking of heading towards the Ravens camp, we
Mhm.
could go northwest.
Yeah, I think like northwest near the foothills is fine.
Yeah, Northwest seems good.
And we've been there, right? So we don't need to.
I don't think we're mountain
Right.
climbing today.
There's no scouting
Cool.
or make way. But I
Mhm.
do. We are going to need the other roles though. The
Keep
scouting role.
watch.
Yeah, keep watch. Thank you.
I'm happy to do that. There's no penalty on rolls for being sleepy, right? It's just the wits issue, I think.
Correct.
All right. Where did keep watch go? Or is that? Oh, yeah, I'm not even
Hold on. Let's bring it up
seeing
here.
it on here.
Let's bring up our group sheet here.
The longer
Oh,
you
lead the
stay
way.
awake-
There it is, right up top.
Lead the way. Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
don't want to lead
You
the
want
way,
to keep
want
watch. It's in the
Right,
top
right,
right
right.
corner where we all are.
Oh, where we are. Okay, cool. No wonder I
Yeah.
couldn't find it. I was already there. Uh,
It's the last
I'm-
place you look, Sten.
Brian is also apparently sleepy.
watch.
All right.
I don't know why, but there's 2 Silvas in the travel sheet.
Now there's
yeah. See? And you all think that I'm the bad guy.
Why
Turns
do I
out.
only have 4 dice. Am I that bad off? Oh yeah, my wits is down. Okay, well.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're
That's
probably fine.
Oh no.
All right.
Confidence.
You got all right. All right. So we failed that.
We did.
We sure did.
You let the sleepy old man keep watch. This is what you get.
He's like, I got this. I'm fine.
you said you could do it.
Comrade Forbidden Lands Party. We failed that roll.
Oh, that's really funny. So you head to the northwest and you're leaving kind of the foothills of the mountains, moving more into kind of the rolling hills. And you're pretty much tracking your regular path. There's not a whole lot that's new. At some point, as you're kind of approaching some of the hills,
Actually, Craig, before you finish that sentence, I think I'm going to push this roll.
that's fine.
Drama.
Okay, carry on.
Now I'm going to really hurt you.
I'll allow it.
15 goblins.
you can't die 10 feet out of the mine, Sten.
Watch
Pretty
me.
ironic, yeah. Don't you
You come
think?
up through the rolling hills and you can tell you're in a slightly different part than when you travel down here, but it's all very familiar, right? It's all just these rolling grassland hills. Sten is making sure that he's tracking the sun so he knows, okay, now we're going to head north from here, have a good general idea. And Sten, you're tired. Maybe slightly distracted. Actually, I've got a question. Silva,
Yes.
I think we covered this, but remind me, do you just lead Thundercloud? Do you ride in the wagon? What do you do?
I think it depends. She's kind of flexible in that regard. I imagine probably right now she's probably riding on the cart.
So that would give you the highest viewpoint.
Okay.
As you are riding, you look over to your left and you can see a roof kind of peeking out above one of the rolling hills. And from where you are, you get a sense that it's not big enough for a house. It almost looks like the roof of something that might be slightly larger than a shed. But unlike what you have been seeing for the couple hours that you've been walking and traveling through these rolling hills, it is created. It is made. It is not just the natural landscape that you have been watching up to this point.
Interesting. Sten, do you see that over in the distance? Shed, maybe? Who's all the way out here in these hills?
And we don't recall having seen that before.
No. And Sten, as you kind of look around, you realize, oh boy, I know where we are, but this isn't, we might be a mile or two from where we.
This is what happens
came
when
down.
no one leads the way.
I mean, is there like a chimney with smoke coming out or any sign that there are people there?
I think you'd have to get closer, Sten, in order to be able to see below the roof line.
Okay. And is it the kind of situation where we could take the wagon off road without too much trouble, or is it pretty
Well, you're
hilly?
not on road, right?
Well,
So
okay, but I mean, in
this is
that
just
direction.
rolling. Yeah, these are just rolling grassland hills. But they are truly hills, right? So this thing, you have no sense of how tall this thing is because you don't have a sense of how much it rolls down from the hill it's peeking out over.
Well, you want to give it a look or keep on going? I'm frankly fine with just moving on. But...
Well,
nobody cares. I'm gonna keep walking this way.
just keep walking.
Oh, we're just gonna keep walking. I think that makes
No, Jim.
no. Jim wants to push the button, but Osric has no desire to go interact with any particular anybody's.
We've pushed a lot of buttons lately.
So
I guess note that it's here.
Yeah,
Vasily, you got that map?
Yeah. Bust out the map.
A little. Maybe try to figure out where we are and leave a little.
Just kind of mark it. Yeah.
Keep half an eye in that direction in case anybody has seen us.
It's going to take you a little bit off course to avoid it, but not far off course. And especially if you want to stay where it's whatever's below that roof line stays below the rolling hills. I don't think there's much difficulty. And I think it's a good 150 yards away as well. So I think even, if you're worried about the creaking of the wagon wheel and things like that, I think that's a minimal little concern. You do hear, as you decide to kind of veer to your right, a voice coming from that direction. And it's kind of a deep, gravelly voice. And that voice says, "Everybody's asleep. It is time to wake up."
That doesn't make me want to go visit that person.
Sounds almost military?
Or a really bad bard.
Could be.
Well, I guess I was more afraid that it's like, so it's definitely commanding sounding, right?
It's definitely yelling. I don't know if it's commanding.
Got it.
but to the point where the gravel in this voice makes you wonder, is that just something natural in that voice? Or is that a gravel that would sound like if you have been yelling a lot?
Well, I'm going to assume that it's not someone enslaved, I think, by the sounds of it, so that's fine.
Okay.
Just promise us you'll never wake us up like that unless it's an emergency.
Well, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to our map. And it sounds like we're going to head north as the second part of the
I think that's the plan.
corner. Okay.
Pardon.
Let me get that same roll again there. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. I don't know if
Anybody else want to keep watch?
There
Says
we
the
go.
only one slightly
my
better
eyes are
at keeping
getting
watch at this
there.
point.
I would love to keep watch.
Get it, Priscilla.
So I will move myself to the keep watch tab, which I'm already in.
Mm-hmm.
Extra die.
Ah!
I'm going to
crazy.
push that, though.
Yeah, get that willpower,
Okay.
baby. Let's go.
Holy
Yeah, that's what's
cow.
up.
Ooh. But you're high wits, right?
I'm a 4 wits, yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm a 2 wits. But I do have 2 willpower, which might have also been part of the...
Sure, that's the math.
What?
That was brave.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a way. How do I get Silva off of that sheet?
Oh,
You mean Silva's clone?
Yeah, it's weird.
second,
Okay.
second Silva.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I don't have any control over her, so I don't think I do.
As you are continuing to walk north, Mr. and Mrs. Yelly gets farther and farther away, finally to the point where you don't hear them. But they never stop. They continue to yell rants of everybody's still asleep. Everybody needs to wake up. Just almost on a repeat, though it's not like a loop, but a very simple theme. A very simple theme being commanded. Rather uneventful. And we're now coming into like the 7th hour that the four of you are traveling north. I'd love to check in with everybody. Get a sense of, are there conversations happening? Are there thoughts happening? Where are we as a party right now after walking for 7 hours?
I mean, Sten is really tired. He's got his outdoor shoes back on, so he's not getting any more tired, but he's still tired. And he's just kind of like, I want to take a nap, and I will think about this tomorrow. Have we gone far enough yet? Can we make camp now?
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
I'm also on the... Can we make camp now? Like, we need to have a party.
I think that Osric is happy to be a quarter day away from the entrance to those mines, and will finally begrudgingly suggest that we can make camp here.
About time.
And Sten, best you can tell, you're about a 3 hours travel from the camp.
Yeah, it's like I love the theory of moving on to finish the trip out of the camp, but I can't go another step.
Yeah.
I feel like Silva's pretty cheery about the whole situation. She's just riding on the cart, just like, yeah, it's so nice out.
We feel like we're pretty close. We might as well just finish now, right? We're practically
Not quite that, but just like, it's so nice out. We're having a good time with my new friends. It's so nice to be out here in the world again.
No one's lied to us all day.
Right?
Let's go ahead and do a make camp.
Alrighty.
Make sure we use our bonus for the tent.
Is this a 1-point tent or a 2-point tent?
2.10, I think.
Oh, I think it's in my bag. Is that my bag, that tent? The tent is in my bag, and it is a 2.
Sweet. And I have.
Is that a wits skill doing that?
It is survival, so yes. But I get a bonus die when making camp, which
as long as you're still the best at it. That's fine.
I think I'll be all right, especially because if I do it, we get a keep watch bonus.
There you go.
That seems good. Hey, look at
All
that.
right. I could do this in my sleep, and I mostly do.
So we watch Sten kind of pick the spot and, pull the tent off the wagon, start to build it out. I don't know if any of you are brave enough to talk to Sten. He seems very content being quiet, I imagine. What are my other 3 people doing? So while Sten spends this quarter day making camp, I do need to keep watch, or we can have nobody keep watch if you want.
I'm gonna start about making some dinner.
Osric, how's your keep watch?
Not great. I am also sleepy.
Either.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it'll do. I'll go ahead and
You,
keep watch
you get
on
a
things.
bonus. Well, I don't know if you get a bonus yet. You will soon get a bonus.
I picked a good spot.
All right, let's roll it out. See what happens. We'll push it. Why not?
Okay.
Nope.
Oh.
All right. But Nathan, I need you to move your mic or keep your mouth.
Oh,
closed.
sorry. Yep.
That's all right, bud.
Turn that up a little bit.
So Silva's decided to just kind of walk around, keep her eyes on everything as Sten is making camp. Ostrich and Vasila, you, it sounds like you're preparing dinner. Can we maybe then do a quick water and food roll for today?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Oh,
Look at all these dice.
So
yeah. Look at them all go.
Sten degraded the one. Who also rolled the 1 on the
I
D6?
broke my food.
Gotcha. So you're out of food.
I'm out of food. I think I'm out of food because I clearly used it
You
all
used all
to
of it.
make my feast.
We're close enough. We're gonna be hopefully be Ravens camp here in a couple hours. Let's
Exactly.
do
It'll
this.
probably even be there.
I'm sure they haven't moved on.
I have plenty of venison dried in my pack. It'll be fine.
Osric, how are we spending our quarter day?
How are we spending our quarter day? That is a great question. I don't have any plans.
Well, the one of you can keep watch.
No, I
And
mean, I could have assisted with that. I guess that would have been a thing to do, but I didn't do it. So, yeah. Well, if you want me to roll dice for it, or do you want me to just roll 1 die to add?
No,
the assist die?
I'll have you separate from Silva. So go ahead. You can roll on your own. I'm good with that.
All
sounds
right,
like Craig saying this is a really dangerous encounter and it'll kill you if someone.
if we don't see it coming, we're in real trouble. All right. Well, then I will also keep watch because he's sort of
To an actual
I
serious
can definitely
patrol.
imagine that he's a bit grumbly still because he's also getting cranky because he did not sleep.
Now the other option is for you to sleep here, which I'm fine with you doing the turn that camp is being made.
You know what? Let's do that then.
Okay.
I think that he'll grumble off into the tent and sleep this one, and then maybe he can keep watch while everybody else is sleeping. That sounds
Perfect.
like a great idea.
Osric is no longer sleepy.
Yay.
Hey.
So let's move ourselves to the 3rd quarter day then. We are now getting into the late afternoon. Sun is now starting to edge towards the horizon. A little bit of a cool breeze. Still that almost hypnotic, just the rustling of the tall grass as the wind blows through it. But we have a fresh quarter day.
I'm asleep.
Okay. So Stan is going to go ahead and sleep.
I think is the intention that we're gonna get at least people rested or slept and then move on to the camp for the evening, Raven camp.
Yeah,
Theoretically.
I wanted to have a real celebration with the 4 of us, but given the time of the day and
We'll have a midnight chocolate buffet. It'll be fine.
how cranky everyone is, I'll keep watch instead because I've made some food, and then if you want to sleep, so you can then keep watch and let the 2 old heads take a nap all night. That's fine.
So again, we're in probably going to the early afternoon at this point, right?
No, late afternoon, early evening. So
afternoon,
this is the
okay.
third quarter day.
Gotcha.
Yeah. If you have not slept by the end of the next quarter day, you will be sleepy.
Okay. I guess I will go ahead and sleep then as well. Sleepy times.
No, I still don't know.
You got a solid 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah. I had my quarter day of sleep now, so I'm rested and fine. And
Well, I'm actually looking at the definition of sleepy and also the way the script here handles it. So it sounds like you sleep for a quarter day and you're no longer sleepy, but you have to sleep again to recover with them.
I don't know.
Okay.
Recover your damage.
Cool.
That seems really
no argument from
that's
me.
a 12. That means you have to sleep for 12 hours. I think
I have had days like that.
I think
Usually
I'm
not
happy
for
with this.
one night of
I've
not
been
sleeping.
up for 24. Yeah, it's gosh, I don't know, Craig. Did I hear you say you're keeping watch?
I was going to.
Okay. I think that Osric is going to try to increase his crafting die. Skill. I think in my mind he's sort of looking at what repairs need to be made to his armor, his Heartscar, maybe even taking a look and seeing what's going on with Frostbite and all of that, and trying to determine what would be the next steps from what he can tell. So I think he's gonna do an increase of crafting, and he's got crafting 1. So I think is it 6 XP?
I think
it's 5 times the next level.
Skills are 5, so 10. All right,
that'd be 10 for 2.
10 XP.
How much XP do you have?
I had 18.
Wow. Hoarding it.
Well, I did want to pick up Smith at some point too, so so that'll be me. And since I am gaining a skill that I already have, I believe I don't need to roll anything.
No, you don't need to roll for that. That's correct.
For the keep watch, I get +2 for you making camp. Or is it 1?
Yep.
2.
There it is. Perfect.
Pretty uneventful. Few hours. Yeah, I'm wondering, after an entire day away, most of you have rested. You've been fed. You haven't had to move for several hours, which is nice. I'm still reaching to try to figure out what is in the minds of the 4 of you. I don't think I have a sense of that, of where everybody is in the moment, about tomorrow, about yesterday, and I'd love to get some insights on that.
Vasilla is stoked, like super duper awesome stoked. She's kind of annoyed at these bunch of idiots who are like mopey, dragging their feet, like we didn't just survive like this terrible encounter that cost our friend like so much and cost us so much, and like fear and terror and like, and they're like, oh, I have to walk a little farther. Like, no, we just survived. We survived. And,
this is the stuff that songs are made of.
Like, yeah, like this is amazing. This is amazing. Tomorrow is not like entered into Vasilla's mind yet. Like, really, she has a vague idea, but like today, alive.
We got out of the mines with the thing we were trying to get from the mines a month ago.
Right?
Yeah. Like an Ostrich, we see you kind of looking at the damaged armor, broken rust bite. Heartscar has seen better days. Is that emblematic of of
I think
Osric
so. I
too?
think that like when Dave said Vasilla is so focused on today, right? We made it today, and I think Osric is very much more focused on yesterday. And yesterday we lost a significant aspect of our defensibility. Yesterday we we had to kill this girl who we thought we were perhaps going to save. So he is struggling with, can I continue to protect us now, right now? Can we handle what's around the corner, those sorts of things, and that's sort of why he's not. One, I think that the camp, that the place we were still had that the risk of orc returning, and
Yep.
that was a very real and present danger at some point. So there was a lot of risk in that space. So we wanted to get out of there. So yeah, a lot of that I think is what he's been working through.
Yeah. How about Silva?
I think Silva was pretty high on everything, just traveling and being out in the sun, and just the kind of the excitement of everything and being like, oh my, success. Like, but I think sleep is a different story. I think when she goes to sleep, it's a bit more rough. And that's just her mind now, like going back and reviewing everything and going, oh, we saw some stuff down there.
Yeah.
That is beyond anything I've ever considered possible and is not okay. So she probably wakes up after this quarter day, rested but a little shaken.
Yeah. It that's what time will do, right? And a good night's sleep as well. I am being such a pain in your ass, Nate.
I'm sorry. No,
we gotta lower your gain because now you're popping.
Oh, you're right down. Gotcha. Sorry.
That's all right, man.
Down.
That's all right. We'll get there. We'll get
better?
there. How about
it.
Sten?
So I think when Sten wakes up after sleeping for 6 hours straight, he initially feels good. It's like there's the weight has been lifted of having to, the expectation of going to the mines and getting these things. We got the surviving dwarves out. We got the stone. We've, for as far as we know, cleansed the mine of whatever evil presences were in there. So and so he's probably, when he sits up in the tent before he sees anybody else, he's probably actually got a little bit of a smile on his face. And then, being Sten, he realizes that, well, now that we have 2 of these gems, now we're gonna have to get the rest of them, and that immediately brings him back.
Oh no. We have a job.
Yep. So he's just kind of, and he's trying, not that he would ever admit this, but he's trying to channel his inner Vasilla and like, all right, let's enjoy the victory for right now. Let's get ourselves resupplied and re-equipped and figure out what we're going to do next.
So I know Vasilla's kept watch this quarter day. Anybody else have quarter day activities before we get to the fourth quarter?
I think we did everything right. We had 2 sleeps and a
pretty sure.
watch and a crafting.
Yeah.
All right. So what is the plan for night as the sun sets away? Darkness, campfire going, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. So
I sleep.
yeah, you do that. Hunting at night seems promising.
That seems a little risky.
Yeah.
Usually the morning's better for that anyways.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think I'll do. I think, and I'm not sure what this is going to look like in terms of like what the character is doing, but I think I want to try learning the lucky talent. And I think what it might look like is, Sten kind of sitting around the campfire with whoever else is up and not too busy, and actually like telling a few stories and actually being more sociable than he has in a long time. Because even though we've got that future, other obligations hanging over our head, we did good.
Yeah.
And Sten is probably in a better mood than he's been in a while.
Everybody's like, "Where is Sten? And what did you do with him?"
I noticed you wait till I go to sleep to
Yeah,
see.
exactly.
Makes it even better.
I tell you
He
what,
needed a rest.
a good pair of shoes makes all the difference.
Outside shoes on.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do that then. Let's
All right,
see if
a
we can
wit
gain
roll, I
lucky.
believe. Yeah.
Do you feel lucky? Well, do you?
Yes, I do.
Look at you. Let me add it to your
Alright.
sheet, Sten.
Show me
That
that.
is 3 XP, yes? For rank 1 of the talent.
And maybe now that it's on your sheet, you can throw it to the chat and tell us
I
what it
will
does.
do that very thing. So this is what is, from people who optimize their Forbidden Lands characters, this is considered almost an obligatory talent because it basically lets you re-roll critical injuries against yourself. Which,
It defaults to the lowest. That's nice.
Right, exactly. So, not that I have been pretty lucky when critical hits have come by in the past, but my luck will come due, and we've seen enough really bad crits in this game that I kind of want to have that extra little cushion.
Excellent.
Fair.
Excellent. Any other activities? Vasilla's sleeping. Sten is telling stories.
So I think while Sten's telling stories, Silva's also going to spend some experience. And I'm going to spend all 9 of my experience to max out my Path of Many Things.
Right.
So now what does that do?
So now, with where's the posty thing? There we are.
Spinners for the
I
car.
remind everyone what Path of Many Things does. I can spend willpower to grab a trade good from my bag. 1 willpower is equal to 1 silver, effectively. Rank 2 lets me grab weapons. Rank 3 now lets each willpower count for a gold.
Wow.
Oh, you can get some really good wine out of
Oh.
your pack now.
And with the reminder of being a half elf, the first willpower I spend on a spend gives me 2.
Very nice. Very nice.
We are efficient. And this manifests as I'm like, Sten's telling his little stories and Silva's listening along, but she's, going through the bag like, I thought I swear I packed one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Bottle of mysterious fluid. No. She pulls out. There we go. She aims down. She has a light crossbow.
Ah.
That will actually cost me 2 willpower because it is 24 silver.
Oof.
I'm
My
also going to spend a willpower to get crossbow bolts as well. So I have
All right. Give me a second here.
Nice.
How funny it would be if you only had a crossbow. You're like, oh, I knew I had one of
You
these.
can grab all this stuff. I've got it up.
I stand out real hard though. I forgot the bolts.
And you got the bolts. So give
Stand out.
yourself the D6 for the bolts.
6 of arrows and crossbow.
And you've got the light crossbow. It should be in your pack now. Very nice.
Nifty.
And all kinds of things. I just have to learn how to shoot this thing.
Maybe once it's light, we'll do a little practice.
I'd appreciate that.
So morning breaks. Let me do my quick weather roll. My
Mm-hmm.
new favorite thing in the world. That is a 5. We wake up. For those that were sleeping, Vasilla, as the sun is rising, campfire is starting to die. Sten, are we packing up the tent at this point?
Yeah, I think so.
Sten starts to kind of break down the camp a little bit. It's a light drizzle starting to fall. Nothing bad, but it's one of those light drizzles that just makes everything damp.
Mhm.
Right? And there's part of you that would say that would want to say, would you just rain already? Like we'll get under a tarp that Silva can pull out of her pack.
Right.
And can we get this over with? But no, it's just gray and just drip.
Mhm.
Just ensuring that nothing feels dry.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we're going to do some traveling.
That's the plan.
And I would assume we're headed to the northeast.
Northeast. Yep.
Sounds Right. Silva's hair is both like matted to her head, but also kind of frizzy. She's like, I have an umbrella in here.
So as you're headed, thank you, Samantha. As you're headed, Sten, you see a figure come up above one of the rolling hills.
Mm-hmm.
And they in no way are trying to hide their presence.
Mm-hmm.
They are clearly walking directly towards the four of you. And very quickly, a few things. One, little disconcerting how quickly this person appeared. In fact, actually, before I finish this, let's do our keep watch. We don't need to do a make way.
Alrighty. Let me see. What talents do I have for keeping watch? It's so hard to keep track of what
You're just so
all the
talented.
talents I have to give things. That's only for camp. Okay,
Okay.
so no modifiers there.
You kept pretty keen eyes, Stan, which I think makes this a little bit even more startling. They are apparent to you closer than you would like,
Mm-hmm.
but you immediately recognize the woman. She's in her early 30s, long, black, deep hair, beautiful series of facial tattoos. So it's Zara Nightshade, who's, is the unspoken leader of the Raven sisters that are at the camp. She has a beautiful long bow, Sten, that might garner some envy. I don't know. And she sees you and gives you a wave as she starts to walk close.
Mm-hmm. Well met.
Hi, Zara.
The four of you are here.
Should we
I've
not?
no less.
Well, there's no guarantees. Did you go to the mines?
We did.
And
No, we're not
And
going
we
back.
I need to hear the tales. You look and she's kind of checking the four of you out. She goes, you don't look too much worse to wear.
Has she met Silva already?
I
Don't think so.
No, because we used to come here the last time we fled from the.
No, we went. Down.
I know we went with the dwarf at one point, but when we came, no, because we came here to hand off Aldrich.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Zara, we have a new friend, Silva. Zara. Zara is of the Raven, and yeah, Silva must be our good luck charm because we all made it out this time. How is Aldrich?
Haven't heard word, which is good. Rook we have not seen hide or hair of Rook. Not sure whether he has stayed with him or not, or has continued traveling. I will be quite honest with you; it is not unlike Rook to be gone for months and then appear back here in camp as a surprise. Even when we're moving, he seems to somehow find us.
And remind me, Craig, Rook was her son, or was that?
Yeah, with our murdered buddy, his.
Yeah, so Rook was the child that was the only male that was at this Raven Sister camp. He was in his teens and shared the yellow eye trait. And we had that moment where he manifested Miracle. I think that you have pieced together that Marigold sired Rook.
Yeah.
Right. With I can't remember her name. I could probably our notes. Our friend that got murdered in the Hollows is his mom.
Right.
I think, yeah.
Right. It was introduced as her son, but we might know who was the other part of that pairing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to tell you, but do you mind? Do you want to go with us? We're head back towards all of you guys if you're willing to host again.
She kind of strains her back a little bit, and she goes, "By chance, that's exactly where I was headed as well." She turns her back, Sten, and she has got a string of rabbit hanging off her shoulder. So she has had a very successful morning as far as
Yeah, it looks
hunting
like a
goes.
prosperous morning's hunt.
And as you start to walk, the four of you headed, Sten, exactly where you expected, where you would have led the team anyway. At some point, she breaks whatever silence is present, and she says, what of the mother? What of the child?"
No more. At least as I understand these things. I mean, I've been
Hard to
reading a
say.
lot. I've been reading a lot, which I can read. I glare at Sten. And
Wait, did I say you couldn't read? Is that a thing I said?
I think that demons can go off to wherever they came from, and the two of them should be gone from the world, hopefully to a happier spot.
They were full demon.
Mom was half demon, like bound to like a giant earthworm-looking thing. It was amazing. It was like bigger around than one of your tents, and like it looked like an earthworm. You know, like the ones that like come up after a rain and like are on top of the soil. But with like big teeth. There was a whole bunch of them down there. Anyway, she was like a demon worm. So I don't know. Maybe
somehow it melded with an abyss worm, it sounds like, or manifested herself that way.
Faces fused to her body as well.
Yeah. She had like eaten people though. It was weird.
Very.
And
Child was a thing of shadows. Harder to pin down.
Silva's first demon.
How confident are you that both have been vanquished?
Well, they stopped trying to kill us. And they were trying to kill us. So
the bodies were dead. Whatever power they may have to come back from that, I don't know.
I don't know what this means. There's Zytera only has so many. That's now a child of it that is gone, and a wife of it that is gone. Did you find a gem? Was the clasp down there as well?
Aye. We found the gem.
May I?
Hey, she Jim.
Yeah. So Osric will pull out the gem and show it to her.
I will reflexively like look around to make sure no one else is near us. Like I don't care if I make a roll and I miss you or not, but I'm immediately like.
So she's asking to take it out of your possession, Osric. Her hand is out for you to hand it to her.
She doesn't want to look with her eyes, Craig.
Doesn't appear to be the case.
Craig, this is a question I rarely ask in this game, but could I make an insight roll? See it,
whichever one of us is carrying the rod.
That depends. I'm trying to get a sense of what are we trying to sort here.
I mean, I know we've talked to her about those things before. I don't know that we've ever given them to her or that she's even really asked about them before. So this seems like a little sort of an unexpected escalation, I guess.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make sure if she is who we think she is, or
that's a complicated question, right?
Yes.
So is it a question of, is this Nightshade, or what are her intentions? Right?
It's probably going to be. I would phrase it more like, "Is this the Zara I remember?"
Okay.
Probably
Yes,
the
then you
good
can do an insight roll
question. All right, cool,
because now I understand the question.
excellent.
Good job.
Sure. Let's see. What is that damage to? Wits. I got nothing but wits damage. I'll push it. Nope.
Oof.
Um, your hackles are up a little bit, Sten, for the exact reasons I think you said, which is, this is a level of interest that we've not. She didn't ask to see the scepter, right?
Right.
But she knew we had it.
Yeah, but I don't think I have enough to go on to provoke me to say anything. You know, if
Well, I
if
think what it
Osric,
is
you
your
know,
concern, Sten, right? So
Yeah.
I think you don't feel comfortable that you can assess
right.
this situation.
So I mean, I trust Osric's judgment. So we'll see what
Well,
he
that's a
decides
terrible
to do.
idea.
I mean, yes, but
I guess
Oh.
this might be a moment Silva might be kind of getting a measure of this person she's just met for the first time too.
Sure.
And I think what Silva's looking for in this moment is that a look of greed in her eyes? That's kind of what Silva looks for.
Silva has seen greed.
Yeah, she
Oh,
knows like
As a
is
trader, she's like, yeah.
are you eyeballing the goods right now, or
So are you
Be.
doing this with words? Are you just looking her up and down? What's happening here?
I think Silva's very intently looking at her eyes as Osric has pulled out this clasp, and like just going for those like again like is someone gonna is she gonna snag this thing up, or like what's the body language saying? What kind of deal are we making right now?
All right, so I'm going to do the ultimate no, which is the compounding roll.
I
But
didn't
go ahead,
necessarily want to go there, but I
give me
figured
that insight. But
this is the sort of thing.
I appreciate the fresh eyes. So your perspective on this being the first time you meet her, I'm good with that.
And I get an artifact for having the magic stick as well, which I think is
Ah,
part of this.
It is. It hurts your ability to roll your actual skill check, but gives you an artifact die.
Nice.
Oh, I got
Ooh,
sights on this
wow.
woman.
Wow.
You can see her soul. Let's walk through the 4 successes.
Okay.
So the first success is she is genuinely curious. And it's not the curiosity of ignorance. So you feel like the way she talks about the gem, the way she's asking for the gem, there's a familiarity. Not that she's seen it before, but she's just like, what the hell? It's not a what the hell is that? I've never seen that before. Let me look at that. Right. It's a curiosity based in knowledge. Imagine that you have read about the Grand Canyon and then you finally get to see the Grand Canyon, right?
Got it.
For the second success, and this is a given, this is she is who she says she is. But for that second success,
No gold in her eyes.
well, no yellow eyes. She is complicated. And you're not sure why. But she is not being honest. But it's one of those things where you sense somebody's keeping something from you and you're not sure it's your business anyway. Versus somebody's hiding something from you and it affects you and it is because, they're being malicious or that a subterfuge is in place. That's not the impression you get. You get a sense of this is a complicated person and she is not fully presenting herself. But then again, who does? Third success. You trust her implicitly, despite all of that. And you are a good judge of character. There are people you have sorted. You had sorted the entire town that you left. You knew who to really trust, who to kind of trust, who kind of don't trust, and who definitely not to trust. Your ability to sort through people and understand that I might be friendly with all of you, but I know what to expect from each of them. You expect good things from her and a level of honesty from her despite everything that you had. I want to keep that fourth success, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think with that kind of that quick read, and I think part of that, and a lot of those successes were on the scepter, and I think there's just this like moment of clarity. And I think Silva kind of steps up next to Osric as he's presenting this clasp, and maybe sees like a moment of hesitation between this like pause where he's got it and she's got her hand out, and Silva almost kind of does like a presentation, kind of stand up like, isn't this thing such trouble we went through to get this thing, and it's just truly beautiful. I mean, Silvador, by the way, we weren't properly introduced, merely on the road.
And she's pauses for a second, Silva. You see quite a reaction from her, and she goes, I don't know if I ever imagined being in the presence of two of them.
Stunning, isn't it? And I think I would kind of makes it, tries to like not indicate the pointy ears, but you know, kind of like present like that profile as she's like talking about this
Aren't
gem,
we
kind
amazing?
of like, isn't it just stunning?
Well, and I'll tell you that you realize when you kind of present yourself, it's one of those situations where, you know, in case she didn't know, I want to make sure she does know and understand this. There's no surprise. She had sussed that out very quickly.
Sure.
So this was not new information. So she now kind of pulls her hand back, and she says, I may have assumed too much.
No. It's such a small thing for such a big fuss.
Of course, you might have information that would be useful to us. Like you seem to have a very you clearly understand what we are handling here, and
Actually,
it's always good to exchange this information.
Zara, I was thinking, would you like a glass of tea?
Oh, so tea would be so lovely right now.
And she nods.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna like take a moment, like sweep a little space, and like make a tiny little fire, and and like have a sit down, because I think both will give her a chance to like see the things, but also I'm like I'll talk to Sten kind of like sideways, and I'm like sidebar, like, and be like, we should probably not tell the entire Raven camp about this, and if we want to talk to Zara about this now, we should do it now.
The only question is, how much will she share with the rest of the camp?
Well, that's her choice. She knows them, we don't. Like, you know well enough that as well as I do that there's rotten apples in every batch. She'll know which ones are good or bad. I don't. Yeah. Nor do I have time to find them.
Right. Well, she already knows we have it, so I suppose there's harm in.
But she also knows more about this stuff than anyone but Margot, and Margot doesn't talk in 3 words in a straight sentence.
Yeah, I mean, if we have things to say and she has things to ask, we may as well.
Yeah. You're the bad cop, as always.
So are we going to let her hold either of these? And if so, which one? And
yeah, I think Osric will certainly offer to allow her to take hold of the clasp.
If she makes a run for it, I bet I can drop her, and she has a really nice bow.
Her bow's longer than yours. She's sitting cross-legged and is very gentle with it when you hand it to her. And she starts by running her fingers across the golden tree that it's set in, that piece that it's set in of this golden oak. And she says, and you can tell she's originally going to direct this to everybody, but then she turns her head to you, Vasilla, and she goes, "Do you know who this is?"
Only vaguely. You want to tell me more?
I don't know. How much has Marigold shared? Like, do you know that this is a first elf?
I did know it's a first elf. Marigold, I think we've talked about this before, but she,
Do not trust her.
No danger there.
Now,
so there's
I'm
things
not
she
saying
said.
she's not of demon. She is not evil. But what was the phrase you said, little one? I loved it. She can't.
No, do you have elf ears too? Said she can't speak 3 words in a straight line.
I'm going to steal that. I like that. But that's a perfect explanation of who she is.
Yeah, my mom used to talk that about Sten's brother.
No,
So
she's
this
not.
is Iridine. And of course, everything are tails. She's supposedly, and it's consistently in the songs, she's the mother of orcs. She's who brought orc and made orc and spent hundreds of her years here in Ravensland bonding and creating that connection between elf and orc. She protected them, and there's orc that worships her, though there's dispute over the forms. There's some orc that say she was orc. She was not of elf. She's very kind, and I can feel her here. Just be careful. She's was a legendary pacifist, a legendary peacemaker. So I don't know in her current form how that will affect things. But of all the first elves, she was the peacemaker. She was the kind one. There's always mixed tales of them, but God, it's incredible to hold her and to feel her. She hands it back to you, Osric. Do you feel her?
A bit. I am certainly no peacemaker. So she may not have the best home with me.
Well, hold. That's not true at all, Osric. Like, I'm not saying that you can't swing a sword. You certainly can, but you've cared about people that need caring about more than anyone else that I've met this trip, I think. Even more than the Raven sisters, although they're lovely. Like, you've...
For that matter, you spared your share of orcs.
You've chased several, like, just... Yeah, anyway.
Speaking of orcs, I wonder if perhaps it couldn't be coincidence that she was the one in the mine and they were there looking for stones.
I'm
Maybe
sorry.
it is.
What do you mean?
We
Found
met
a batch of orcs from, what was it, the Eye of the Rose?
Yeah. They said they
That's
have a
interesting.
stone.
They said they had a stone.
They said they had a stone.
We're looking for more.
That must mean that they're getting bold
They have a
since
king.
taking over the eye.
Yeah.
They've kept to themselves for a long time to be traveling this far west.
They had put a man in a cage. Someone who had been able to run in and steal from their hold and get back out. They were trying to get him to find out, how he was doing it. Silva knew him from Amber's Peak, but he was, I don't know. I'll just spit on the ground. And yeah, but we spared them. We fought a party of them and spared them. I think successfully agreed that demons are the actual enemy. So maybe friends. Hopefully friends.
I'd be careful. I'd be careful. I can't indict an entire kin, but I don't know if you could tell, but that would have dishonored them. They would expect, if they lost in battle, to not survive. But apparently, out of kindness, of course, on your part, you allowed them to. But I don't. So do you know that the Eye used to be a palace for Elf?
Yeah, we did.
Elf. Yeah.
We did know that.
It's
There are apparently elves attacking it still.
I'm sure the Red Runners are very interested in reclaiming it. Be careful. Just be careful. It's probably good that you have Iridyne. But I would be very careful, because if Orc were to find out that you have Iridyne, I think that of any of the stones, that's the one that they would be the most interested in.
Yeah. They would chase the mother,
Sense.
I suppose.
This news of the Eye and of them patrolling way this far west, though, means that I think that we need to move. I think when I get back to camp, I might advise and talk to our council. I don't know if it's safe here, especially if the Red Runners were to try to retake the Eye. There could be a lot of blood east of here.
How far east is the Eye?
Get there in 3-4 days, maybe. But we could give you some directions. Maybe draw up a rough map for you if you'd like.
Oh, here, look at this. Oh, I get out my map and I'm like, here, look at this. We found this with a dwarf in an old tomb.
And you lose her for like 8 minutes, 10 minutes. She spreads this thing out on the ground and looks at it. And you can tell she's never seen anything like this before. And she says, "Do you realize what this is?"
Yeah, it's a map.
And she points and she goes, "It looks pretty good. Like the hollows." And she points and she goes, "There's the mines there, and I get a sense of the distance. We're here." And she points to where "What's this mark?" she asks.
Oh, that was the structure out slightly to the south. Just marked it for posterity.
Did you interact with the tower?
That one? That was some guy yelling about they're sleeping. Oh, they're asleep.
Speaking of Orc, we call him the Insulter.
Wasn't that rude?
He has built that tower here to the southwest and is convinced that the only way we're all going to wake up from the mist is through anger and violence. And you have made a good choice avoiding him. He can inspire violence because he says bad things. So it's good that you mark it. there's nothing gained by interacting with the insulter.
You guys want to go back down southwest again?
Oh.
Changed my mind with Jim.
No.
Oh, so funny.
So she points on the map on where the eye is. She goes, the eye should be here, close to the marshlands, above the lake, south of Weatherstone. Here's where Weatherstone is, and she points, and that kind of lines up, right, to what you guys have thought there.
Okay.
I'll mark on the map the eye if it's not already there.
Yep.
Um,
She also says, as best as I can tell, I think Hagler's house is here.
Do you know
Which
where
mark
these?
that.
Do you know where these elves, the red runners, are?
Honestly, as much as you have traveled south of here, I'm amazed you haven't come across them. They have no home. They're nomadic. They're mercurial. And she pauses and turns to you, Silva, and she goes, I want to be sensitive. They are more driven than a lot of elf. It is when you live as long as they do, there's a different degree of importance put on things. And it is hard sometimes to find an elf that is driven for anything because all they have is time. This is a very determined group. And some of their biggest enemies are elf because of their tactics and what they're trying to accomplish and how they want to reclaim this land. So I feel terrible. I tell you to be wary of orc. Now I'm telling you to be wary of elf.
It's all right. I'm wary of everybody.
Yeah.
Anything
except
I'm
if
telling you
it's
to be
not
wary
there.
of men.
She wants the scepter. So she turns to you, Silva, and she says, can I hold Elgared?
Oh, you want to meet the old king? I'll pull.
Sorry,
pull
which
Valgrad out.
she wants the scepter, or was that you saying that, Greg?
That's
Okay.
me saying I'm sorry. Yeah,
Got it. No worries.
yeah, that's Zara. That's Zara asking to hold Elgared.
Yeah, I think at this point Silva at least has a general trust, so she'll pull out the old king and hold him up. He's quite a
tell you-
piece too, isn't he?
I'm even more familiar with him. But I'm not going to tell you anything till after the break.
Ah,
So she takes the scepter, and Silva, we see her react at the touch. The same feeling, you can tell she feels what you felt the first time you touched that scepter, how it drains and takes from you just by holding it. She says, he was the only brother. In the same way that Iridyne worked for peace with the orc, Algared worked with them and with us. And she kind of nods towards Ostrich and Sten. He went south towards man and made the first connection between man and elf. There are tales that he was the last of the 6, that the sisters had all turned and regressed back to stone, and he had protected them, put them in their forms. He made the clasp, he made the other holdings, which I don't know what those are.
Do you know the other sisters? Do you know anything about them?
Raven speaks to me when I'm holding them. I know that there were 5 sisters. There are 6 original elves. They all came from one mother. And it's said that they were born of a shattered stone. That the mother's original gem shattered and formed the 6 of them. I don't know how much any of this is true. How much of it is gods and legends. Now, I will say that his son is very much in dispute. So Algadon, who made this scepter, some say he was human, born of elf. Elves say that he only disguised himself. But he's the one that fought back. He's the one that led the charge against Zagafar. It was his son with this scepter that brought it back. And some say that he was responsible for the mist. So you're holding his father. And this is powerful. You should be very careful.
Uh-huh.
You should be mindful of man and elf when it comes to this stone. Let's go. Let's go back to the camp. I'm afraid we could only provide one night's rest. I'm going to strongly advocate that we either head north or south from here. I don't feel comfortable heading west, at least to the northwest towards Hagler's. I don't feel comfortable going east. I also do not feel comfortable staying here.
There's supposed to be
Zertone
elves like me to the south, southwest.
I missed the
Southeast?
beginning of that, Priscilla.
There's supposed to be ones like me to the south, southwest.
Southeast.
Southeast.
Yes, southeast is where it said that the halflings are. That is very true. If you're looking more for yourselves or more of Gremlin, you might find that to the southeast. That is for sure.
Do they live together? Do you know if the halflings and the nightkin live together?
You can see the wheels are turning in her head.
Mhm.
You don't know.
Don't know what.
She turns to you, Silva. And she goes, do you know of Halfling and Gremlin?
I'm not deeply familiar with their customs. I've done a bit of trading amongst the halfling kin. Very, very little with the goblins.
You have a brother or a
Yeah.
sister,
We know it's a brother.
and it's going to be Goblin.
Yeah.
You're born as twins. You know
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. He was super fun.
I wait. You knew your brother?
Yeah.
Sten is making the same face at this point.
Oh, that's unorthodox.
Yeah.
Who raised the brother?
Well, we did.
Halfling raised Goblin.
Yeah. Well, until he disappeared. Mom always said that he that he passed away, or sometimes she said Aunt Jacquelina took him. I don't know. Mom lied about some things.
How did you know she had a goblin brother?
It's because all halflings have goblin brothers or sisters.
Obviously, Sten.
Come on, Sten.
So
We have a whole village full of little goblin halfling families.
halfling or goblin is with child. It is always twins. Halfling will give birth to halfling and goblin. Goblin will give birth to goblin and halfling. And she looks back at you with kind of a stern look and looks back at Sten and says, but it is known that the one hands the kin back.
And
So the halfling family will give the goblin to goblin, and the goblin family will give halfling to halfling.
no, that's blood mist lies. That it doesn't have to be that way.
That's very well maybe the case. And Vasilla, she is biting her tongue.
It separating families for some. We're awake at the same time some of the time. Stupid. And it can change. We can change it. There can be something different in a remade world.
You're right, little one. Just because it's always been this way doesn't mean it always has to be that way. And I am not one to have this discussion.
Yeah.
You'd have to talk to your own kin about this.
Well, start with one, the actual kin. Work from there. Would be nice to see him again.
So she takes you to the camp. Have we mentioned Rustbite?
No. Well, we did not. In that
We
conversation.
haven't yet. Getting a lot of breath from. I think
I think it
it's.
was Oscar.
Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Dave?
Jim?
Yeah. Maybe.
Not sure.
I don't know.
Might be Jim.
Okay.
He's doing the side mouth.
No, we have
Actually, Oscar
not
could
yet.
make side mouth, yeah.
We have not yet.
So you guys,
we may
from your
mention that we
last
do the
visit,
smith
you already know of
individual.
Astrid Crow. Astrid Crow is the smith here at the camp. So that's you guys. You already know that she exists, if that's of interest to you. And Zara welcomes you. Says this place is yours tonight. I am going to talk to the others, though. We likely will be out of here in the morning.
Thank you.
Understood.
We appreciate your hospitality. Yeah.
Let's
Do you have? I will ask. Do you have a bowyer here?
Oh, of course. And she kind of shows you hers.
Well, no, that's a very nice bow, but I'm looking for one for me, and I wouldn't presume to go after yours. But yeah, if you have someone here that crafts, I'd love to talk to them and see what they have. to say.
I do. You're gonna want to talk to Eris. She will expect a trade, but
Oh, we have plenty in the way of compensation.
but she would definitely maybe provide you one of her bows, and she hands you her longbow, Sten, and incredibly well balanced. Maybe a little bit more decorative
Sure.
than one that you would use, but you can tell the quality.
So this is one of hers?
It is.
Well, that's fine work. Eris then. All right, I'll seek her out.
All right, so let's go ahead and do our last travel. Actually, we're already there, aren't we? I forgot we already did that, so we don't need to do anything there. We are at camp. This puts us at the second quarter day. What are we going to do in camp?
Shopping episode?
We can definitely do a shopping episode. Eris will make you a longbow for the price listed in the book. So I don't know if anybody has the trade goods handy.
Longbow costs
If
12
anybody
silver.
does, it's Nate.
Yes, exactly. 12 silver. And I've got that, so I'll...
I've also got the full amount of silver that we were given at the dwarven
nice
tomb. So
chunk of
if anyone
silver.
needs cash, I've got a bunch of extra cash laying around.
All right, so let's go ahead.
And if she wants this, random short bow that is nothing special, maybe as a training thing for a kid, I will happily.
Sorry. So you should have now a longbow in your. gear.
I now have two for some reason. I'm gonna get rid of one of them.
Okay. Yeah, ditch one.
All right. And then I'll just get. Well, I can carry it. I'll probably hang on to the short bow just in case. Because it's
Throw it in the
happened
cart.
before. It's happened
in case.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, throw it in the wagon. Yeah.
And I'll probably also get some arrows while I'm here if she has spares.
I'm also gonna buy crossbow bolts.
Yeah, if you could price those out for me, Nate, while you've got it right there.
Iron-headed arrows are 12 copper. Nice.
Yeah, what the heck? I'll get the good ones.
I'll
Crossbow
Wait.
bolts aren't a separate resource.
I'm going to refill my food.
No charge for that, so that's easy.
All right,
Oscar, you going to the mall?
So I think Osric needs to talk to the smith about repairing all the things.
Also,
Alright.
with Osric going to a smith, we have these 3 pelts in the cart that I was going to see if we could trade off essentially as raw.
What does it show they're worth?
A raw good. A pelt is worth an amount of money that I will find when I get to the raw materials section.
Hold on. 8 copper.
All right, we have 3 of those.
All right, so you can go ahead and convert that, Silva. So ditch those and convert them to coin.
I know how to do math.
It's 24.
Nice, good job.
You did math on the internet.
All right, so
In my head.
we'll do a
I
bit of a
felt-
montage for this where you find Astrid. She's an older woman, broad-shouldered. She has blondish hair. It's long. It goes all the way down to her lower back. She has it tied back though while she's working. When you get to her, she's got an entire tent set up. You can see her starting to put away her forge.
Oh no. She's putting away her forge. Gosh. Ma'am, I was hoping that we could get some repairs before you leave tomorrow.
What do you have?
And I think he basically, kind of shows her the chainmail that he's wearing. I have this, and he pulls out heart scar.
She looks at it and she goes, "This is easy. What else?"
And he shows her heart scar with its loosened axe head.
Kind of dumping out the backpack of weapons.
of all of these terrible things.
And she takes Heart Scar and she goes, "Where did you find this, X?"
We liberated it from some Rust brothers that attacked us.
This is made by Rust Brother. I can tell. And she shows you how the head attaches to the shaft, and she says, "You see that there? That's it's a good fasten, though. Yes, I can take care of that." She sets it aside. I assume that's all.
And he shows her the Great Helm, which is also obviously from the Rust Brother. And then finally, I think he gingerly pulls out the bundle that is the broken rust bite, and it says, "I'm not sure if anything can be done for this."
So before you hand it to her, she goes, "What use is that old sword? The blade's going to fall apart in your hands soon."
It certainly looks that way, but it's been sharp and it fights well.
Oh, she said, she's, and you can't tell Osric if she's just always annoyed or just annoyed with you.
Specifically
right?
annoyed with me because she was packing up her stuff to go, and,
So she's
I
like, "Give it to me." You hand it to her?
yeah, I definitely am gonna hand it to her.
As soon as it touches her hands, she drops it. And she looks at you and she goes, "This is of demon."
The sword cleaves demon. That much is true.
It is of demon. Whatever power you're finding here is coming from the other side. You should bury this. You should destroy it.
It's our only defense against them.
Against who?
All of these demons, the mother, the daughter, the what was the other guy's name? I don't remember his other name.
It was a little fox dude.
No, the little fox dude doesn't count. Like the guys at the watch camp. Osric remembers his name.
Mm-hmm.
The Rust Brothers in general.
Right.
Rust Brothers Masters, maybe.
And you want this put together.
If it can be done.
Before I put anything like this back together again, I need to know who wields it. And I need to know your purpose. If I'm going to restore the soul of this demon by reconnecting and rebuilding it, I need to understand what it's going to do.
And remind me, Craig, have we talked about the gems in the space of the broader community of?
I don't think so. I don't think that the sisters as a group know of this.
Okay.
At least there's been no indication of it.
Yeah, I don't believe we have either.
Yeah, I think Zara has understood it because
Right.
she warned you about what's in the mines.
Okay.
And obviously Marigold has been a part of this community. But you don't have random Raven sisters
Sure.
walking through camp going, "Hey, how's that stone treating you?"
Yeah, it's
Bad.
terrible. So Osric will say that we are I'll wield that blade, and I'll use it to smite demonkind whenever I find them, and to protect those that can't protect themselves.
Give me a manipulation roll.
I don't wanna.
But it's
Intimidate her.
true. It's all true. Remember, you're human.
Ah,
Sure.
Or is he Dancer?
Well,
That's right. Turns out I'm actually demon.
Knew it.
well, I
God,
tried.
that was such a moment.
Oh gosh, those are not better. Other than that, I might could find a way to use that stupid gem.
Show her your sick moves.
Uh,
Yeah, don't forget about the bonus from the gem. That's actually a good point.
I think that is the plan, such that it were.
Okay.
So I will use a willpower and adaptive to change manipulation to performance.
Ooh, okay.
Explaining some of the things that we've done with the sword, some of the demons we've slain,
And I hit it
battles
like
we've
this,
fought.
and it died this.
So this sounds to me like this is a regale of tales. And
A bit, yeah, a bit of the and I feel like he even leans into some of the the little songs that Priscilla put together after we killed the first demon and so on and so forth. As modestly
Hold
as
on.
he
Little? Did you refer to my songs as little?
Little ditties, little tunes.
little ditties, right? Yeah, just
Taking you out of the song.
all right, let's do this performance roll. Make sure you get your bonus from the clasp.
Yeah, I'm super bad at performing, by the way.
Yeah, +2 is always good though.
Oh, and since nobody else has seen this but me,
Hmm?
I will put
You gonna post it?
the Bloodstar Cloak class into the chat,
D12.
and then I will
And
figure
you
out.
get your artifact die.
Correct.
Do you just levitate? You should levitate.
It does make the show a lot more impressive.
I unfortunately do not have a cloak
Right.
to attach to the class.
Well, dude, you need to get a cloak first.
You need a
man.
cloak? I can get you a cloak.
You can levitate. It levitates. The cloak restricts it. It doesn't.
No.
Oh, so
it's-
you can levitate,
you can
if a
levitate
cloak
if
is
you have a
attached to the
cloak
class.
attached to the class.
Oh,
It's
gotcha,
like-
gotcha.
It gives you wings. It's like Red Bull.
But not like
Oh.
Red Bull, which contractually doesn't do that, we promise. Don't sue us.
Oh, this is such a terrible idea.
I like it. Oh,
Oh,
yeah!
yeah!
Let's go!
Artifact dice.
Entirely
the
on the back of
win.
that artifact die.
So
Now let's find out about the bad side.
Fine.
she says, "Very well. Zara speaks highly of you. All right, so we can do 2 repairs per quarter day. What are the first 2 we're going to have her do?"
Oh, that's a tough question. Let's start with the armor and the helm.
All right.
You don't want to start with Frostbite?
It's so hard to say. Do you want to go out with a bang or do you want to start with a bang?
Well, so here's the cool thing that I'm just going to meta tell you this because it's in my head is that if she pushes it, it's her might skill, which is in strength, and so every time she pushes, she's going to get possibly worse.
Oh,
Is
fine.
where my brain went. I'm like, it's your decision, but if you break Frostbite, I'm going to be very unhappy.
I would be very sad.
All right, fine. We'll start with Frostbite.
We'll start with Rustbite. I'm going to do a crafting roll.
You better be really good at this. Oh, speaking of, can I assist? in
Yeah,
any way?
really good at this.
You
Uh,
cannot.
She does not need you.
She does not need you. So what is the gear bonus on Rustbite? Because she just
gear
healed
bonus-
4.
that much
It is
together.
2.
All right, so Rustbite is back together again.
Yay.
There are moments where she pulls back from the sword and she struggles with this. And this is in the way that when you've watched smiths work metal, they are shaping it, they're contouring it, they are crafting it. What you witness with Astrid is a battle. She is fighting it and conquering it and overcoming it. And she sets the sword aside, lets it go, takes a deep breath, and puts her hand out for the next thing.
All right, now we'll do Heartscar.
All
Now you can do it in any order you
Heartscar.
want. I don't care.
Now it doesn't matter anymore.
So with Heartscar,
Uh-oh.
she struggles. She seems
Damn
to,
rough brothers, who would use a left-handed twist?
yeah, she seems to get very frustrated. Now, remind me, is it forever gone on the first
is
roll, or if she pushes it?
I believe it's forever gone either way. We
Gotcha.
can double check that and make sure if we need to.
Because the Bane is on her strength, not the item. If that makes a difference. Well, I guess the item isn't rolling dice for this.
If the
now.
gear bonus
Yeah.
has been reduced to 0 and the attempt at repair fails, the item is permanently destroyed.
All right. So
Well,
that's it for Heartscar.
Well, I mean, does it fail
Unless she
if
pushes.
she pushes?
She might not want to push
I mean,
for this
if,
particular.
yeah, I know. I'm not saying she necessarily will, but would that be a possible way to?
I can tell you she's not going to push on her own.
Maybe she'll use her pride.
So this comes down. I think this would come down to Osric, whether he would push this. So she shows her frustration, and she goes, "I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand how the brothers do this." And she kind of slams it down in front of you.
Would feel really bad for breaking and losing Aldrich's axe, but I don't think I'm gonna make her push this.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So that we got 2 done. Have we done? I know we have Sten's quarter day.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have Silva and Vasila's quarter day for this afternoon?
Oh man. I mean, I think I was shopping as well, actually. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm
So
probably
I
out
think
and
we have
about.
just Vasila then.
Yeah, just me. I think I want to. So they're not going north to Oakenheart, right? So I'm gonna go find their lore speaker, their lore
Yep.
singer, and I'm going to relate several of the tales that I've learned about the Dwarven Tomb, and like, I'm gonna pass the knowledge along because if we fall, we need people to like know more. I'm not gonna tell them sing songs about the gems or the specific like main quest stuff that we don't need people to know about, but I will like fill in other gaps and pass my songs along, and you know, it's kind of.
So, quick question is: Are you going to show Lilith the book?
Yes, I will show her the book.
She is in the same expression we saw from Zara when you gave the map. Lilith gives the same expression when she sees this book. And she flips through it. She notes a few things like, did you notice this? Did you notice that? Do not let this book go. Even if it's only half truths. This is documentation that I've never seen before. Can you give me a quick lore roll? And and the number of successes is going to be a bit of an exchange of information here.
Am I activating the account of demons or no?
The what?
In
Yeah.
the lore roll, I have like
Yes.
a little
Yeah,
modifier.
you're going to use the artifact die for the book.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm willing to push that if I am allowed.
You are.
Do you know how to repair this book?
Oh, is it
Oh,
on
no.
the book?
Book damage.
I keep forgetting that the book can be hurt somehow. God damn it.
Uh-oh.
No,
God,
it's
how's
just
one
I'm,
repair
an,
a book?
You were flipping through and you tore a page.
I'm an idiot. I forgot that I can hurt the book. I keep thinking it's unhurtable. I'm stupid.
So
God damn it.
2 successes. during this discussion for this first success, I think the tale of the sister, or I'm sorry, of the daughter and the mother come up.
Mhm.
And she makes it very clear to you that they are no longer in Ravensland. You described to her what happened in both of those encounters, and she says they are gone.
Good.
What's interesting is the second success. And I think this would, I don't know if anybody, if you, Vasila, has pieced this together or not. But she says to you, that means the only thing that remains of Zygofer is his son,
Mhm.
who you've met, right? Zerto?
Mhm. Without a face, right?
Yeah, his dealings with demons. He made an exchange. And yes, he has no flesh. But do you know the tale of what became of Zygofer?
Only that he's become something else.
I don't know if this is true, little one. She closes the book. He combined with his daughter. And now they are Zytera.
How do you
They are the demon.
Zara?
So there is no longer a father and a daughter. There is only Zytera.
I've heard Zytera before.
Yeah, we were told she was the leader of the demon army.
So that means all that's left is Zerto. The rest are all now gone. And you need to be very careful with having slain the mother and the child, the one of the two sisters. You may have gotten Zytera's attention. He locked him down there. They locked him down there as punishment. So just be mindful, little one. Keep this safe, and she slides the book towards you. No one would fault you for just going home.
Yeah. But what kind of home does leave us?
She looks around, making sure it's just the two of you talking. She turns back to you, Vasil, and she goes, without the mist, he's going to grow strong again. They're going to reopen all of the portals. Demons are going to pour through this. And they're going to take everything. And Zara might not want to face this, but that is where we are. Zytera will take everything, including his brothers at the last.
Marigold?
That might be past your time. I'm sorry?
Marigold? Is Marigold her brother? His brother? Or whatever she called the golden trickster?
So she has a very distinct change in her facial expression when you invoke that name. She combined them. It was her magic that made him. And the fact that Zara even lets them in this camp is unacceptable.
Hmm.
You could say they're why we are here in this situation.
Yeah. Do you think that they're telling the truth when they say they're trying to fix it?
I would not believe a word out of that forked tongue, little one. I would not believe a word out of that. I don't trust the boy. I don't trust anything with yellow eyes.
Yeah. Do you know why she can bite them? Have you ever heard why?
Zara says there's regrets. Zara claims that Marigal was tricked, that Marigal was charmed. But she's not of this. And she kind of like gestures to the world, right? She's not elf. She's not demon. He's not any of this, which means that they can't be trusted. So tell me, child, if you dropped the vase and it broke, would you not tell your mother that you regret it and that you'll do better, regardless of whether you intend on breaking again?
Yeah, I can certainly remember a couple, 2, 3 things I might have been lying about.
Let's go to our third quarter day. Osric, I assume we've got more repairs going?
That is the plan. I will ask her if she could train me while this is happening.
Ooh. Yes, the answer is yes. And I think it is you asking questions, right?
Yeah. Basically, like, how do we do this? How do the chains link there? What's that hammer do?
Are we trying to pick up Smith?
We are attempting to pick up Smith.
We don't need that. We would never need that kind of
And
stuff.
and tell me remind me, with a teacher you do roll or don't roll?
No roll if you have a teacher.
You've got the XP?
I do.
All right. Look at you, Smith. So what can you do with level 1 Smith? It is now on your sheet.
With level 1 Smith. There it is. I could use the crafting skill to make any close combat weapon, shield, or metal armor from the tables with normal stats. I can also turn iron ore into iron at a forge. And the undocumented thing is that I can now repair weapons if I have a place.
Very nice.
So.
Very, very nice. All right, so I've got Astrid ready. What is she going to roll against?
So Craig, I will point out that Sidewinder has come to the rescue with the rules in the chat once more, and basically NPC Smiths usually just succeed with 1 success.
Okay.
Rather than making a roll for it. I mean, you've already established this way, so we can do it differently. But
I see.
If you care about rules as written.
Okay. So with the crafting roll, succeed automatically with 1 success. So that, and Sidewinder, if you're still watching, if you can just cite that for us. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'd like us to know where that is so we can understand. Or did you find it, Brian?
He says it's under hirelings, which is, I'm finding the page.
So I love this game, but there is a minutia to this game that is poorly spread about on this.
True.
So So let's because it only matters right now for the axe.
Yeah, so it's on page 173.
Okay.
Like each hireling has their own like chart of what happens when you hire them.
Okay.
Like a smith, you pay them and they succeed with one success.
Okay, I'm good with extending that beyond. That makes sense to me to extend that beyond the strongholds. Yep.
Sweet.
Thank you, Rosu and Sidewinder. As always, you guys are the best for helping us with
They
that.
do know a lot of rules.
So Osric, do me a favor. Just add 1 gear die to
Heartscar.
Heartscar.
I can do
I
that.
meant 5 successes for Astrid on Rustbite. She might have bitched about Rustbite, but she repaired the shit out of it.
Well,
I
that's
thought-
the thing.
Frank, it's the sword that was broken.
Do we want to make Rustbite one as well? Then I feel like we can't decide if we want half of
That's
this
true.
particular
That-
rule. We either
that
have to
is
take
true.
rolls or not take rolls.
No, because it's very clear that repairs for every success in the crafting roll
Right,
adds a
but-
gear die.
But it also says a smith's crafting roll succeed automatically with 1 success.
Now, I'm okay with the roll and just it adds an X. Yeah, I understand the argument.
Mhm.
But
I
that
mean,
makes it-
I think it's also reasonable to say that for magic items or items of power, you gotta roll because
Risk, a roll risk.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it. We're going to roll with it on this time, but I do understand the argument because there's a huge benefit to the automatic,
Mm-hmm.
but you only get a 1X. But then I would argue, then would the smith not be given a choice?
Right.
Right? Do you take the automatic X or do you
Right.
roll, which
Sure.
gets into a whole minutia. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So, what's next on the crafting roll?
Chainmail needs to be repaired.
All right, let's see how.
You have like a whole laundry list of
I
crap.
do. I have like 4 things that need repaired.
It's been a long time since we've
Alright.
gotten to someone who is good at this.
Yeah,
It
so that's
occurs to me that I have
success-
something to repair too.
That's 3 successes.
All right, so we will repair 3 spots on the chainmail.
Yep.
And
Like-
then the great helm as well.
Nice. She is good at their job.
She is quite good at this.
Oh, good. She's good. Aldrich would be impressed.
Well, she has 2 hands, so.
So
Right, that helps.
let's no need to keep watch or anything like that, right? So we're now in the 3rd quarter day. So if we're gonna have, we can have everybody sleep at night
Yeah.
because the camp takes care of keep watch.
So Osric beat me to it, but as long as I am here talking to the lovely Bowyer, I was going to see if I could pick up the basics of, in the field bow repair and that kind of thing. It's like, and it's not like he asks, "I want you to teach me." It's sort of like, so one time I was pulling this and I got a crackle. Well, how would you deal with something like that?
Old man chat.
I love it. So yeah, spend the XP and let me add it for you.
Sweet. And functionally, it's basically the same thing as Smith does, except that I can make ranged weapons and ammo, and more importantly, repair stuff in the field.
Very nice. All right, that's Boyer. That's in your
Yep.
inventory.
Thank you, sir.
Osric and Sten are done. Silva and Vasilla.
So that's if it's not the sleep quarter. I'm not sure what I want to train yet. I feel like there's something in here that I want to train. I'm not sure which.
All right, let's see if Silva has some thoughts while you page through.
Well, I mean, Zara is clearly going to be busy for the whole quarter day, right? With Osric's repairs.
You talking about Astrid?
Astrid, sorry, yes.
Yes. Yeah, you would
Okay.
not be able this quarter to have Astrid.
I have a nick of damage on Clay's Guardian, which as I was checking through my things, that seems like a thing that maybe needs to get touched.
It might be
But
something
we'll worry
we
about
have
that
Astrid.
later.
Yeah, we might have to have Astrid do that in the morning.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I might stop by there and be like, "Hey, I've got this job in the morning. If you're not, I see you're busy. Busy working with my mighty warrior. But we have another item of interest that could use some touch ups when you have time."
You catch Astrid out as she's kind of taking her breather between the load that Osric has put on her. And she's drinking some water. She throws one of her towels over her shoulders, and she goes, "Let me see it."
And hand her Clay's guardian.
She looks at it and she goes, "It's not a demon. That's good."
Dwarven, apparently.
Oh, it is. It is. Yeah, I can help with this.
Oh, fabulous. In the morning, then?
Yes, in the morning. But
fantastic. Thank you so
not
much.
till I've had tea.
Oh, of course. This might be a good opportunity for that. This might be when I drop off those pelts. Like, we have these; they're in good condition.
That's good.
Get them to your local tanner, and they'll be good supplies.
So, is there anything else, Silva, that you want to do this quarter day?
I think Silva might just kind of wander about the camp and maybe try to talk to people about local points of interest. Like what's around these areas. We know about the Hagler's house up to the northwest, and Eye of the Rose, and the Weatherstone to the northeast. But what else has been seen around these parts, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, so it sounds like we're doing a little bit of carousing.
Yeah, a little chitter chattering.
Yeah, well, how about I give you a manipulation roll?
I would love to give you a manipulation roll. Oh yeah, I forgot my nose is still broken. I have a -1 modifier. It hasn't been 4 days yet. Right?
Ugly Silva walks around.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Let me double check the calendar real quick.
Oh, it has
Make
not
sure
been
I'm
4
not-
days.
Like a day.
I know it's
maybe
March,
two.
but I don't know how to see that.
Oh, let me look for you. Hold on.
I guess I could have fixed your nose at some point, but I completely forgot that
It's
you had a broken
tomorrow.
nose.
Tomorrow. You'll be
Of
prettier
course.
tomorrow.
So we're a little scarred up, and a little swollen. But I do still have the old king, so he can give us a little boost here.
Oh, nice.
Just cruising around
Manipulate
with the
these
scepter all
fools.
day.
She's maybe getting a little woozy too, because she's on a little bit of agility and wits damage, but we'll take it.
So let's talk about that success. You end up coming across somebody as you're doing your carousing, and offhandedly, as you're kind of chit-chatting it up, Morgana asked you a question.
Mhm.
First off, the tea she's made you.
Oh.
No offense to Vasilla, but holy shit.
I mean, they've got supplies in a camp, so like,
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Yeah.
no offense to Vasilla, but this is like they've got the stuff.
Yeah, and it has incredible relaxing qualities to it. Let's leave it at that. She asks you offhandedly, like you should know this. Have you come across Berelda yet?
That is not a name I'm familiar with. Do tell.
So we get the obligatory, are we alone? She checks to the left and to the right. You do not want to invoke her name here. But Berelda is Raven's sister. And she is very active. So she has been traveling Ravensland and single-handedly destroying demon.
Fascinating.
She would not be welcome here. Zara would not want her in here because there is a more than reasonable argument that she has left Raven at this point, and that her eyes have turned red, and her determination to fight demon has led her astray. So it's good that you've not encountered Bloodbeak, and if you were to find her, just you'll know it's her, and just be careful and understand that she may no longer fly alongside of Raven.
Interesting.
And for the love of Raven, do not fight her.
Oh, certainly not. That sounds like suicide. Is there any indication of where she's been? Just about?
So we came from the Northeast. And we heard tales of her presence. But she travels and travels fast. So I cannot say where she is. But last we heard was in the Northeast. Now, understand that if I were to encounter a demon, I would not want Zara's bow. I would want Varelda's sword. I would want her next to me. Because she has many, many notches on her crossbelt. And each of them is dead demon.
Sounds like a rather impressive individual. We'll have to be mindful should we travel that way. I appreciate the information. And the tea is, of course, lovely.
So let's all sleep in our last quarter day
Yes, please.
in the
Oh.
comforts of the camp.
Did Vasilla ever?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. I gotta
I'm
come
going to
back to you
attempt
with this one.
to learn fast footwork with my wit
Ooh.
roll.
Nice.
So talk to me about fast footwork and let's find out if there's a teacher here. So what is
So
it?
fast footwork lets me make the rank 1. It helps you dodge. The whole tree helps you dodge.
Mhm.
So the first rank is get a free dodge in the round. The second one is get +1 die roll to the dodge. And the third one is, I didn't read that far because I'm not there yet.
Is you can dodge any number of times in the turn. I have 3 ranks in fast footwork. If I wasn't busy learning to be a bowyer, I could teach you.
Well, and Seraphina is here. So Seraphina can teach you. So yeah, I'm good with that. So if you've got the XP, let's go ahead and make that
I
happen.
do. It's only 3 for the first rank.
All right,
So,
so let's take care of that.
Very nice.
don't take all 9. Take only 3.
What do you two teach me that? That'd be useful.
All right, you should now have fast footwork in your
We are so
inventory.
talented, you guys.
Well, I thought about like saving it up to get the 4th rank of lore, and I will do that at some point. But like that's 20 experience. It's a lot to
Mhm.
specialize.
But what does the 4th rank give you?
Nothing, just more.
Another
dice.
die.
Oh, just more
Twenty
dice.
more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a skill.
Yeah, yeah, and you've got the book, at
And
least
I have
for
the
now.
book, right?
Keep
Yeah.
pushing,
God,
and
dude,
that'll.
if I could just remember that it was.
You're so
flipping.
mad at yourself. I felt so bad for you, Dave.
I hate when I do shit like that.
Have to figure out if we can fix a book.
So, for those of you watching, Dave and I have been friends for a very long time, and I don't normally see this part of Dave when we playing RPGs. It's normally I see this part of Dave when we're playing miniature
The
games.
minis, yeah.
Or a board game. Sometimes we'll see this, and God bless you, Dave. You beat yourself up so terrible.
Yeah, better than I was. Still not good.
Yeah, yeah. I've known you long enough for that as well. So when we come back, we're going to start off on the 18th in the morning after a good night's sleep. When we wake, we're going to find ourselves packing up, not just for yourselves, but the entire camp is going to be packing up. We're going to go to credits. We've got a lot to talk about on the other side. So we'll go to credits.
A band of heroes bold, stand the hunter versus the fair, with tales of glory told, Osric with his mighty blade, rustlight of demonic hue, and silver half-elf merchant king, their journey did ensue. Silver trades and secrets hold the smile upon her face, while Osric swings his fearsome sword in battle's fierce embrace. Through Raven's land they wander in search of ancient stones, to free the land from darkness where evil's a terror roams. With courage as their banner and hearts forever true, They seek the light within the night, their quest for me and you. Sten the hunter tracks the beast with arrows swift and sure. Vasila sings of battles past, her voice a magic cure. In ancient halls where echoes dwell, they found a mystic sign. The stones of elves a guiding light, within their hearts align. But Zaitera with eyes of fire, her wrath upon them fell. Yet undeterred they pressed ahead through fire, storm and spell.
So, episode 41. And part of what I love about us being this far along is I thoroughly enjoyed these 2.5 hours. And quite frankly, nothing happened. We did shopping, we did some repairing, we did some chit-chatting.
Lore dump.
Yeah, some lore dump that I hope was couched in a way that was somewhat interesting. But I just feel like these 4 characters have become so familiar that I just love it as a GM. I love interacting with each one of them. So taking on each of these Raven sisters and having these conversations and discussions, I have a great time doing this. And I don't think you can do this on in session 4, right? But when you've spent this much time together, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. So before we get into thoughts, stars, and wishes, we are going to be taking a season break. So this will be technically the end of season 2, even though I haven't been keeping track of it. We'll be coming back in first quarter of 25. We've got a lot of other exciting games going. So just to recap real quick, we've got some one-shots coming up. So we have got For the Queen coming up. We also have another run at There's Something Wrong with This House, which if you've not watched the first one, you've got to watch the first one. This next one is going to be equally as good. Yeah, it's going to be a couple months, Sidewinder. I'm sorry. And then we also have Blade Runner coming. We have Sentinel Comics coming, and we also have Outgunned coming. And as somebody who enjoys still being married, that does mean we need to do a little bit of a season break. Not even talking about Trail of Cthulhu. So we'll be back but we do need to do a pause to allow some other games to get played. I'm going to start with you, Nate, if you're okay.
Yeah.
Thoughts, stars, and wishes. And as far as wishes, I want to not talk about episode 42. There is a real possibility that there may only end up being 4 seasons here, right? So 3 will either be, act 2.5, act 3, or season 3 could finish this. So I'd like your wishes to be like a little bit farther looking than normal. So let's start with thoughts.
Oh wow, that's a statement. Thoughts. It was good to kind of get Vasila into probably a more comfortable element for her. Into kind of a town setting. That's kind of where a lot of the stuff that's on the sheet is more geared.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you having the grace to give me that second insight roll after Brian did his, because I felt strongly about it. I wasn't going to push you too hard on it, but I felt like I had a moment there, and I appreciate you seeing that as well.
Well, that's you being a good player, though. That's not just, you weren't asking me for favors. You were bringing in the situation, right? You were making it narratively make sense, and that's just being a good player. So that wasn't a gift from my side. That was a compliment to you as a player, saying, Craig, I don't want to pile on here, but here's kind of the situation that makes sense to me. Which, as a player, let's get better about doing that as players, and as GMs, let's make sure that we're not being jerks.
For sure. Stars.
It was an uneventful episode in so many ways.
Flashy. just simple Stardust to Sten going to the bowyer and Sten and Oscar kind of having their moment of hey, learn
I don't-
learn learn by watching.
Mhm.
Well, and I'm going to put a star to everybody on that one, Nate, which is everybody took their little montage moment to interact and be in character as character, and I really appreciated it. Maybe I'm going to replace stars then real quick because I think it's tough for us to do that.
Mhm.
Nate, what was the most interesting part of the lore dump? So
Ooh.
let's do that. Let's do interesting part of the lore dump and wishes. Did anything
There was
make
there
you
was
go,
one
oh?
there was one that really got me, and it's slipping my mind at this exact moment.
You want to come back to you?
Um, Yeah, let me think about it for a minute.
That's okay.
It's there on the tip of my tongue.
So let's talk wishes. What would you like to see in Act 3 of our potentially 3 or 4 act play here?
Oh man.
If suddenly Brian, Jim, and Dave said, "I don't give a shit where we go, you pick." Where do you think Nate would want to go on the four spots of the compass?
I mean, I feel like the Eye of the Rose probably fits the most. It's probably the most intriguing next point. Being if we go a roundabout way to see the halflings and kind of swing back up, I think that'd be the route I'd be probably most interested to take with where we are right now.
You're somewhat fascinated about going southeast and seeing if we can't find some
And the
halfling.
halflings, yep.
Interesting. All right, don't let me forget, Nate, before we close, though, I want to come back to you as far as the lore dump. All right, Dave. What? And then you were.
I remembered. Sorry.
Oh,
So you don't have to come back to me. Rustbite being of demon.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. That was
That
interesting.
one, that was probably the biggest surprise. That was like, oh,
It was a cool little nugget. And it also makes sense why she thought her
okay.
dad was there and kept looking at Osric, like, because of
That-
the demon energy.
That one was yeah,
That's cool.
that really kind of connected some dots and really kind of
Oh, that
opened
makes me
some stuff
happy.
up.
That
Yeah.
makes me
And you
happy.
slipped it in like a smooth way too. I like that.
Hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Dave. So lore dump. You were being a very good player and taking notes and jotting everything down. I caught you.
Yeah.
What surprised you, or what do you think was most significant?
I like the Iridine Algarad, kind of like that chunk of it, and Algadon. But mostly I was interested in Iridine because I feel like it's interesting that they have races or kin that are like associated with them, and like it kind of like I like when stuff makes sense. So personal Dave issue is fantasy books have this like uh, love of telling you how much of this background that they figured out and how many pages of notes of the world that they have like spent laboriously figuring out and writing down. Like, shut up, just write a story.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I like that stuff seems there, right? Like it gives it like breadth and like, oh, it came from this one crystal, it's split into 5, those 5 then made the races. Like there's this breadth of stuff, but it's not like, let me tell you 5 pages of like I spent too long. So I really like that. Like I felt like it makes the world breathe better, but also like helps us progress in the overall quest.
Yeah, and it's not a hurdle, which I love, right? So you don't have to jump this to play in this game, which is part of what I kind of like about the premise of Forbidden Lands, which is all y'all don't know shit. Let's start playing. And then I don't have to like send you a 25-page document and say, before you make your character, you need to read all of this. So I'm with you 100%, Dave. It's part of the secret beauty of the premise of Forbidden Lands.
Yeah, right. There's not like 6 pages of like descriptions about feast to tell me that there's like 83 different parts of your world that gooses come from. I don't care. Stuff happens.
But we still hate gooses, let's be clear.
Oh my god. No, they don't bears, but yeah.
Or geese.
Uh,
So you really enjoyed learning about the original elf and the stones that the two of them possessed. When we start playing again in January, February, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the continuance of the quest, honestly. So I was happy that I got to use my dark secret like a little bit, which is how much that she hates the goblin halfling separation
I
uh
loved it.
thing. Um I did miss a cue where I should have said every coin has two sides because I'm like in my head of halfling culture, like they
Right.
very much represent everything is double sided.
Yeah.
Um, and I missed a chance to do that because Osric has it anyway, and there's a chance I could have done for Marigold. But so like I don't really want to go see the halflings. Like I kind of do, but I kind of
Mm.
also don't because
That's super interesting. I would not have guessed that.
yeah, because I'm gonna probably start some shit. And
That's why I want to go to the halflings.
Pushing buttons left and right.
yeah, which could be fun, which would be a lot of fun, but also
Yeah,
like
I
part
think it'd
of
be
the quest.
well,
Yeah.
and think about this because we've kind of established that you may not have been the only halfling in Oakenheart, but Oakenheart, you guys were isolated, right? And we worked through kind of what does the mist mean when there's procreation there, and it changes things. It makes things super interesting. So I think that your inner campaign for this is super fascinating, and I love it, Dave, that it makes total sense to me. Like I believe that Vasilla would want that, but what's interesting for you as a player is deciding, is this the mission now? Is this a
Mhm.
side quest? Is there bigger fish to fry right now? Is this something that I do afterwards? It's very, very interesting. I love the order that I picked you guys. Nate's like, let's go check out the halflings. Dave's like, nah, we're good.
I don't want to do that.
So I guess if you're picking on the compass, then if you're saying not southeast towards the halflings, where are you drawn to as a player?
I think the orcs, right? Like I'm both interested in the orc culture, but also like I enjoyed that little mini encounter we had with them. I thought it was interesting. I thought her little tidbit about like loss of like honor and that kind of thing was interesting. Sten and I have had like, but they're going to come still kill us. I'm like, no, 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 they're going to be friends now. That's why we let them go. Um, and I just think that whole thing is cool, like an interesting development. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, it and the red runners make it a little spicy, right?
Yeah, right.
So no, I agree. All right, Jim.
Ah,
So
Uh,
lore dump. What caught your attention?
so I feel like in some ways, like I've always known that like it's always been at least a question in my mind about like is Rustbite the bite of Rust? Is Rustbite the biter of Rust? And those things. So I think it while that is interesting that at least this one person, by touching it believes that it's of demon. I think the one that jumped out at me was this last one about this rogue Raven
Mm,
sister demon hunter.
Yeah, sounds dope.
She sounds super cool.
the
And
militant Raven sister.
yeah, she sounds really cool. I also really enjoyed the little halfling goblin lore dump section. The twins and all of that, and that's super interesting. As far as like an actual star moment, I think the juxtaposition of Dave Zavasilla being so excited to be out of this place that she really wants. She's like, no, we're gonna toast and we're gonna have a party and we're
Yeah.
gonna and the rest of us that were like, no, we're not doing that. And
We're not doing that here.
and
Anyway.
then and I think like coupled with like at the moment she went to bed, that Sten has this little gregarious storytelling moment. Was
Which,
pretty
which
great.
Vasilla would have
So rude.
killed many a small animal to have opportunity to be sitting behind at that campfire when that happened.
Right, and so that was really fun. Gosh, wishes is
Where are we headed?
it I might have said the halflings too. I'm super surprised that Dave did not. The orcs are also interesting. I feel like the place we're not going is Hagler's house. I think that's that.
Smart.
If I had to pick, that's the place that we're not going.
No one else saw
As
their
much as
keep.
I don't like halflings particularly much, but I really don't like Ross Brothers.
Well, and like I feel like if there were more there than our buddy the dwarf that's not a dwarf, which is in some ways an interesting thing to try to save, but uh, like there's a lot of risk and not a lot of reward there.
And you guys didn't get super attached to Yawim, right? Like
Yeah.
there's an appreciation
Mhm.
for Yawim, and yeah, right. You might pour one out for him.
I like him as a character. I don't feel obligated to save his life.
Yeah, I don't feel like these 4 characters would feel an obligation to we must save him. So I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do think that like there could come a time maybe when like an anti-Rust Brother, crusade became a thing, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
I agree.
Do we need a stronghold first?
Yes.
Obviously. So to me, it would either be the halflings or the orcs, I think is where we're headed next. And I'm not sure which.
Cool. Last but not least, Uncle Brian.
Why are you always making me go last, man? People have already said all the right answers.
Because
mean,
I
you
like
have
to
the
make things
easiest
hard
job.
for Brian.
Okay,
You make
that's
things
fair.
hard for me on Travel of Cthulhu. I'm going to make things hard for
All
you.
right,
here.
fair.
Payback is a fill in the
It's
blank.
true. Yeah, so I mean, the lore
Lore
dump.
dump.
I mean, I enjoyed all of it. I had a great time as Sten, like figuring out or being told about the goblin halfling thing,
Yeah.
because it's just like he would never in a million years have thought of that, and it's just such a that was a great moment. One thing I also really like about the way you do the lore dump is that everybody was going in and talking to somebody different in the Raven Sisters camp, and they're never monolithic. Everyone has their own spin and their own opinions, and it's like, well, we have this kid, and he comes around a lot, and there's like, God, I wish we didn't even have that kid in the camp. I don't
Yeah.
trust the damn thing, and I really appreciate that. It's just not like the Raven Sisters think this.
Right.
That's a very nice touch, and kudos to you on that. As far as where we go next, I'm kind of with Dave. I mean, from a story standpoint, I love the idea of meeting the halflings and seeing Vasilla have to deal with functionally her old racist uncle. If
Yeah.
you're back, back home after too long for Thanksgiving. But I also think, especially now that no matter how far out it is, we have an end point in mind. I feel like, because this is not a fast-paced game.
No.
I'm not saying it can't be interesting, but I mean, everything takes time.
Yep.
And I think I would rather focus on trying to get these remaining gems and then do whatever it is we wind up doing with them. So, as far as we know, the 2 that we think we know about are the orcs and the elves, and we don't know where the elves are.
Right.
So as much as Sten personally isn't really super excited by it, I think going to the orcs is the right choice.
And sussing out if that rumor was true, right?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
belief.
Right.
And if I didn't make it clear, you got no confirmation at the camp that
Right.
they have a stone. They were shocked
Mhm.
at that revelation, and I think that scared the camp more than it was
Mhm.
just like, oh yeah, they've got a stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It feels like we're only 2 of 6 stones here,
Mhm.
but we're farther along than that. So I think we're at least over halfway at our current pace, but I also feel like we're trimming a lot of the fat along the way as the more lore dump happens. It's less just aimless, right?
Right.
So I'll be interested. If we end up playing 80 episodes, I think that's possible. I think it's possible it'll take this
I'll be
long.
happy to play as long as it takes.
And back to what I said at the very beginning, I love these characters.
It's like, I mean, it's like, obviously getting to sit around the virtual table with you guys is like hanging around with friends, but having these characters get together is also like hanging out with old friends.
Which is
I agree.
interesting, like with Silva, right? Like as a juxtaposition, right? Silva's like, when she showed up, it was awkward, and we're still like,
Yeah.
we had that like weird player character, kind of like, have you met her? Like,
Yeah.
but now you like get a feel for Silva too, so it's cool to like have both.
I think the big question I have as a GM, and I am very comfortable with both A or B on this decision, is I believe Silva going, been fun.
I did my part. Margot told me
Yeah.
to hope you get the gem.
And
I'm out.
I also believe Silva saying, now I have a reason. I've been diddling around for my years. And I also believe the bond that you now all have with her and she has with you, because you have been through the fire, right? Like we cannot minimize what happened in the Stone Loom mines that Silva was a part of. She went down there, she was defeated, she came back and was victorious and saw some shit. And it was
did
because
some shit.
yes, and because of the four of you, you survived it. So that's why I believe both, right? That's why I believe both. So it'll be interesting, Nate, what makes sense to you as Silva starts talking to you more. I feel like you're going to listen to her and know which way to go. And it'll be interesting. But I feel like, and I can't speak for you, Nate, but I feel like it'll be clear. Do you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty clear on where Silva falls on everything. I feel she's pretty invested.
Yeah,
is all I'm gonna say. She's pretty invested she's pretty invested in the plot.
That's cool. That's cool. And just to be clear, if we lose Silva, we don't lose Nate, right? But
Number 3.
all right. So you follow all the socials, guys, so you can keep track of it. There's a lot of great games coming. I know for some of you, it's really frustrating to know we're not going to come back in 2 weeks. But this game is not over, and there's 5 people here that really give a shit about what's going to happen. So come January, February, we'll be back. What were you going to say, Dave?
Promise.
I was doing Stallone saying it's not over,
Yeah,
and I decided I should do that to myself.
we're one of those people, but we hit the right stopping point. So
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. All right. See you guys soon.
Thanks all.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.